Hello everyone. In this session we are going to talk about nutrition in plants, basically green plants. Okay, green plants, all plants are mostly green in color. Sometimes you also see leaves yellow and sometimes you also see orange leaves. Do they perform photosynthesis? Yes, they also perform photosynthesis. But now we are going to talk about how green plants, when the most of the plant having green color leaves, how they prepare their own food. So let's start. Nutrition in green plants. Nutrition in plants is said to be autotrophic nutrition. Why? Because they can prepare their own food, as we discussed in the last session, right? Auto means self and tropic means making food or nourishment without depending on others, hence it is said to be autotrophic. Now the question comes here is, okay, plants are making food by themselves, but how? So they are making food by the process of photosynthesis. Yes, we all are aware of this term, photosynthesis. We have heard since our lower grades, photosynthesis. So what is photosynthesis is what we are going to discuss now. Your photo means light, right? In biology, you can say every word has a particular meaning. So you can split the words and identify what the term means. So photo means light and synthesis, making something. So with the presence of light, plants are making their food. Hence the process is said to be photosynthesis. In addition to this, one more important point which you have to remember is, since plants make their own food, they are said to be producers. Producer is making something. Okay, so remember, green plants are said to be producers because they make the food by the process of photosynthesis. Right, now let's see what is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis requires four important raw materials. You can say inorganic substances. What do you mean by inorganic substances? The substances which do not have carbon, hydrogen and oxygen are said to be inorganic substances. Carbon, hydrogen and oxygen. If all these three are together, the substance is said to be organic substance. So for the plant to perform this important procedure, it requires something, right? If we want to make a chocolate box, we will require some raw materials, right? In the same way, the plant wants to make a food, what raw materials it will require? Very important thing, light coming from sun. So sunlight is first important raw material. Second is water. From where is the water coming? This is also important. Please take a note of this. Water is absorbed from the roots of the plant. Okay, sunlight, water from the roots of the plant. Then where third important raw material is chlorophyll, right? Like we have colors, right? In the same way, this green color is because of a very important color that is said to be chlorophyll. It is said to be a pigment, right? Like we have colors, in the same way plant also has colors and the color are said to be pigment. What is the pigment present in green leaves? The pigment present is chlorophyll, right? Chlorophyll, please remember chlorophyll. And what is the function of chlorophyll? It traps sunlight and then converts the energy to make food. Okay, so very important function of chlorophyll is trapping sunlight. Trapping means absorbing the light from the sun. And the fourth important raw material is carbon dioxide. From where will the carbon dioxide come in? It is present in the atmosphere, in the air. So carbon dioxide will come through air. So carbon dioxide enters through the stomata of the leaves. Okay. So what is this raw material? Light, water, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll. From where it is coming, that is also very important. This inorganic substances then react. There is number of oxidation reduction reactions going on. Okay, please remember the type of reaction going on. There is number of oxidation reduction reaction going on, and which will convert this inorganic substances into oxygen and an organic substance. Now the inorganic substance is converted into organic substance, that is sugar. Sugar, basically glucose is being formed. Okay, so what happens when you give raw materials, sunlight, water, chlorophyll and carbon dioxide, it gets converted into glucose. Along with it, oxygen is released into the environment. So we say we should plant a tree. Why? Because it releases oxygen into the environment, which is very important for us to live. We cannot live without oxygen. So who is giving us oxygen? It is basically atmosphere plus plant is giving us oxygen. Okay, so oxygen is given off into the air, and this glucose which is formed, the sugar which is formed, is the plant which requires, has lot of energy. So plant uses the energy required by it and later on convert it into starch. Okay, so later it is converted into starch. Like, we also use energy, and most of our energy is stored in the body in the form of glycogen, right? In the same way, plants also store it not in the form of glycogen but in the form of starch. So please remember, what is the storage form of energy in plant? It is starch, and starch turns iodine dark blue, that we will discuss later on. Okay, so photosynthesis has a very common equation. We generally, this is an unbalanced equation. We write it as 6CO2 plus 6H2O in the presence of sunlight, that is light energy, and chlorophyll gives you C6H12O6. This is a formula, molecular formula for glucose, and we generally write oxygen is released into the environment. Okay, so 6CO2 plus 6H2O. What is CO2? First raw material, carbon dioxide. What is H2O? Water. What is C6H12O6? Carbohydrate, and finally oxygen. This equation is sometimes also written as 6CO2 plus 12H2O in the presence of sunlight. You can either write light, sunlight and chlorophyll gives you C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Here also there will be 6 oxygen molecules. Okay, 6O2 plus 6H2O. So if you increase your 6 molecules of water, you have to release 6 molecules of water again. Okay, so both these equations are correct. Okay, actually the plant first takes in 12 molecules of water and then releases 12 molecules of water. But if you don't write your 6H2O, you can write your 6H2O also. Okay, so remember, if you increase a number here, you have to release also the water molecules. This is a very, very important equation, that is equation of photosynthesis. Molecular formula also. If you don't remember the molecular formula, you can write this also, but molecular formula is generally being asked. Okay, so raw materials, carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll gets converted into glucose and oxygen. That is what happens in photosynthesis. From where carbon dioxide comes, from where chlorophyll comes, everything we have discussed. In the next session, we will discuss that exactly how do carbon dioxide enter and exactly what happens in photosynthesis. If you have any doubt, you can write in the comment section. Please do subscribe my channel and click on the like button. Thank you.